friends? You guys doing good? Everybody stretched today? Is everybody stretched today? Have you guys stretched today? Have you like, oh, it's just that, and some of this, and then do this. Just fill your left cheek up. Don't be doing two cheeks this early. Good morning, all. Welcome to the show. I'm not muted. Wow, a lot has happened. Not just to me. I mean, I have a whole new view on waffles that I'm not going to get into right now, but a lot of other stuff has happened. There's just like tons of stuff. And it's really good to be here. Good to see you guys. If you missed last night, I was going to do a show yesterday, and I just couldn't make it. There was something I was working on that I hope you've seen. So we missed that. But so much happened that I had to stream today because I really need to talk about it. I need to tell you guys that. But first, I need to know if the audio is okay. I need to know if everything's okay because I'm insecure that way. Because a lot of times, let's face it, I'm freaking muted like all the time. I'm like so muted. I'm muted all the time. Thank you so much, Discerning Light. Good to see you all. Welcome to Tuesday. So much has happened over Independence Day weekend. So much. It is a carpet bomb of let's just stick this shit here. It's a pillage of information dump that's been put upon you, and not a single freaking thing is true. Don't you say it, James. Don't you say it. Don't you say it. Don't you say that, James. Don't you say that. I wonder if that's going to screw it up. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to get the light right. I really am. I know that my appearance is crucial, especially when I shave. You guys were just like, oh, hey, I don't have to worry about it if I talk with the microphone right here. I should have thought of this earlier. Oh, my God, this is great. So, look, guys, I don't mean to be the one that tells you I told you so, but I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told all of you and more. So many of you left after I said this. Why? Because I took away your little Epstein chew toy. I'm not talking to the current audience. You guys are probably cool because honestly, you've survived through this. But I took away people's Epstein chew toy and people got freaking pissed. They were just like, all because I said a simple thing, which is this. Isn't it interesting how we always reject the media every single time unless it's news that we crave? Unless it's the flavor crystals that we snort for, the bath salts that we go searching for. Behind the Family Dollar, how many times have you been there? Looking at you, one person. I don't know how this works. I just found out the bath salts was like a general term. I actually thought, honestly, I'll be honest. I thought that the whole bath salts thing was that people had figured out that actual bath salts could be used to snort and smoke. I just was being honest right here on James True Live. That's what I thought bath salts were. And I was like, wow, that's convenient that people that were making bath salts happened to find a secret market where everyone bought it. And in my mind, I had a brilliant Cobb salad of conspiracy where there was like this underground drug ring that were like, man, first of all, why do we have to talk in accents? And the other one goes, because we're drug dealers. And drug dealers will talk in accents and things will be passionate. We will have things happen and occur to us that require certain things that be understood, so we need dramatic pauses. Do you mean like pauses? No, I do not mean stop bringing cat paws into this. Unless Dr. Evil has a cat in his lap, then you can talk about pauses. But right now we're talking about dramatic pauses, not cat pauses. We're getting very off track, my friends. Very off track. This is why you need a co-host, James, because someone would keep you on track. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to be on track because I'm free. I'm a butterfly. I'm a humming Hutzlaputli fly. Actually, there's nothing wrong with if you want a co-pilot, you should check out Judge Your Worth. We had one last night. Lori's a great co-pilot. And we'll have more. Stretch is a good co-pilot. Stretch is a great co-pilot. Stretch is a great co-pilot in other ways. Why am I talking about this? Hey, have you guys heard about Chakra Khan? Because it turns out that's a thing. I thought it was a joke. Turns out that is actually happening. So you should join Patreon right now if you want to get in on that. We're thinking about going to the Parthenon. Yep. The real one. Not the one in Greece. That one's run down. Hey, you guys running your ruins? Yeah, we're the people in Greece who run the ruins. Yeah, I think that your ruins are kind of run down. Ugh. Yes, well, we should probably take better care of them. Yeah, they look kind of old. Yes, they are very old. Yeah, but they look old, right? But, it is what we got. Oh, blame it on your elderberries, huh? Why are you bringing elderberries into this? Why? I don't know. But we're going to get to it. Thousands of people. Miami Herald busted the story on Epstein. And truly, here's what you know for sure. Here's what absolutely is undisputable. Epstein had a lot of money, owned a place in Miami, had a thing for new girls. Didn't have a thing for girls. Had a thing for new girls. This is a profound psychosis. It's very common, but it's an innocence fetish, would be an easy way of looking at this, right? It's a fetish for innocence. And so he found himself in need of constant innocence. And in order to get constant... Now, one of the ways you could obviously claim to find the cheapest innocence would be through children. That's one way. I actually think that his fetish was not... Actually, I know his fetish was not focused on children. His fetish was on innocence. I get that some of you are like, you're not thinking of the children. It's like, yeah, you know why? Because they're fucking children. I don't think of them as sex toys, which is why it's not even in my mind, because I don't even think a pedophile would have it that way. I don't think that that's what pedophilia is. Yeah, me knocking on the door reminding you that rape is actually not about sex, is it? That when you have these feelings, you realize right now if God came down, most of us would just come in our pants because we wouldn't know what to do. And the rest of us who don't even have the ability to sexualize something as powerful as the face of God would rip each other's eyes out. We'd eat each other's skin off and we'd say, oh, it's because the bath salts, man. And I still think that if you were looking for a way of distributing your blue ice malt, you know what I'm talking about, the special new drug, I think you should invent a bath salt company. You can't use bath salts. That's been done. Okay? That's been done. I'm thinking, hear me out, come closer. I'm thinking a sprinkle company. You make sprinkles that go on cake. So you could put it in every grocery store. Grocery stores sometimes they're open 24 hours a day. Guys, you're going to have so many customers that are coming in, going to the birthday aisle and just buying the sprinkles. Why? Because it's frickin' drugs. It's a super dope chemical drug that you've invented that isn't outlawed yet. You're like, fuck this. How are you going to do it? This is what I thought bath salts were. It turns out, no, that was just a colloquial term that people used. And then sometimes people labeled their drugs as bath salts, which I think is cute. But let's be honest. Scott, if you're watching, I don't mean to bust you here. Oh, shit, I just said his name. I just busted him. I can't talk about that. I was going to say something funny about a certain person. I can't even talk. Oh, damn. That's a funny joke. God, should I risk a felony for the joke? James, how bad do you want this joke? I think I have other jokes where I can maintain the sanctity of someone who brings me joy and not have to go into this. But it's a funny joke, James. It is a funny joke. It is a funny joke. We'll have to think about this. But I do want to discuss Epstein because here's what you know. Literally thousands of people have come forward. This is why it's an innocence fetish. That thousands of people have come forward and said, I've been sexually abused by Epstein. I'm sorry to tell you this, but most of them, if not all of them, are actually adults. Now, you guys are going to probably some of you are like, pretty girls are not adults. And I get it. There's like a whole thing where when you start to put kitten eyes on things, you don't want to call an adult, which means you don't want it to have to be responsible. This is why we invented Barbie dolls. Like rich viral men want to collect a delicate flower. It's built into your genes. Why fight it? So Epstein has the same thing everyone else does, but he had a fetish for the spoiling of the innocence, for the taking away of this innocence. And this was well documented in the Miami Herald piece. Before he was involved in anything else, this was really well documented. And that's really all you know. That's really all you know. A bunch of adult women came forward and said that they consensually agreed to something that they deeply regret. This is... God, James, did you... Oh. How do you live in a world with people like me where I'm giving all the power back to the victims, where I'm not even calling them victims, where I'm saying people came forward and said, this guy sexually molested me and I consented to go over there. How do you do this? Are there innocent victims? Of course there are. But when are there not? When are there not? And why are we using the task of because there's one or many innocent victims, therefore everyone who has kitten eyes should therefore be innocent? I don't think that we're doing any justice here. There's no justice. There's none. There's none. I see the same thing right now in Mexican culture, honestly. That whenever I try and discuss the fact that the two-party system existed on Templo Mayor, and I say this on Reddit or something, all I get back is this racist bullshit that's like, well, that's because you're a racist. It's like, how am I a racist for discovering culture? How am I a racist for waiting for you guys to build a fucking freeway? It took a freeway for you guys to discover your own fucking temple underneath your city, okay? So don't be coming all up in here with your big, oh, you're not honoring our tradition. It's like, fucker, you built a roadway over this thing. I saw it. I saw the signs. I saw the signs. I saw the signs. I saw the signs. And it's a two-party system. And why is that racist? It's not. Just like when I tell you, yes, they were cannibals. That doesn't mean that I'm a racist just because we had cannibals. Guys, did you know that there's a fucking word in our dictionary called cannibals? Where do you fucking think that came from? I'm going to give you a clue. The story, the myth, the idea, the concept of someone eating another person. Now, are we really going to try and look at each other and say that didn't happen? You know what's worse? Is that the whole live story, you know, the rugby team that crashed. Has anyone noticed that they crashed over South America? That the only place that they could have crashed where they would eat each other happens to be in the very culture that I am so in love with that I'm telling you guys, this is a lot of flying purple people eaters. That's a lot of them. A lot of flying purple people eaters. Speaking of flying purple people eater, Epstein is still part of this whole thing. Apple penis is a very vital part of the American diet. As soon as this dropped, I told you this is a fucking psyop and none of you guys are going to get what you wanted. Does anyone remember? Can anyone in chat please verify this for me? I realize probably a lot of you in chat think a lot of other people in chat are yes men. And so to disprove them, you should say no. But I honestly told you guys this. I told you and I was whipped for it. I was whipped. It felt good though. It felt good. I'm not going to lie. I squeezed my nipples a bit. It was like, oh God, this feels good. They hate me. Oh, they hate me. Oh, the crowd hates me. Oh, the crowd that never discerns shit is mad at me because I took their Epstein chew toy away. And I did because it wasn't what Steve Bannon wanted you to believe, but you wanted to believe it. And I don't blame you. Steve Bannon is a sexy beast. Oh, that guy, man. Of course you want to believe him. Out of all the people in the world, you're like, that's the guy that I want to believe. I get it. He gave you Pizzagate. Didn't even have a basement. Fuck it. You don't need a basement. You don't need it. James, it just means that you're saying that every single person is innocent. There's no such thing as pedophilia. And it's like, yeah, that's called binary thinking. This same mentality will actually turn sex and rape into the same thing. It's the same binary. That when you have that simpleton kind of viewpoint, this is what it looks like, guys. This is what it looks like. What, you think I don't think there's a cabal? Oh, there's a cabal. There's a cabal. But I'm going to tell you a little secret about the cabal. Because the cabal is you and me. We are the cabal. We're the cabal and the cojones. We're the cabat and the cabal. We're all these things. We're gifts of cabal. And you'll slowly learn that, or you'll find someone else to watch. I know you guys have a lot of people watch. Thank you. Of all the people that you watch for watching me right now. I put on a shirt for you. Come on. Oh, what else do you want me to do? What else do you want to do? What do you mean to just make up stuff? I can't give you the same stories that Bannon gets to give you because I'm on this fetish for authenticity. I didn't say truth. I said I'm on a fetish for authenticity. Why? Because I just have a weak handicap magic. What do you mean? Well, my torque of my magic requires a lot more facts. When I cast a spell in my cauldron, I got to put real shit in there, okay? And let me tell you something. For years, I've known that Eye of Newt is required to go inside the cauldron. And for years, I just love animals too much. This is why I'm not a very good wizard. I've told you this. First, I tell you I'm a wizard, so I admit it. Second, I tell you I'm not good. Why am I not good? Because I'm not willing to pull the eyes out of a newt, which means I'm not going to give you this extra spicy story. I'm not going to be able to do that for you. I'm not going to be able to say it's Mossad. I'm not going to be able to say Epstein had billionaires. That for some reason, A billionaire in the world couldn't get laid or could not find someone who was willing to compromise their own innocence for 5 minutes on a yacht. That for some reason, that's super scarce now. And billionaires can't just like walk around and literally have twat falling out of the sky. I'm sorry I just said that, but like literally have like all the sexual parts like bobbing and blooping and bleeping and doing all their things and gilluating, let's call that a word, and all those things, and that we are pretending. Why are we pretending that? Because it feels good. It makes us feel good to know that a billionaire could never get laid. That guy couldn't get laid. Why? Because he's master of the universe. And no chick would ever want to have sex with a master of the universe. This is what we fucking tell each other. You know why? Because Steve Bannon's like, here, you want this licorice? And we're like, I will lick that rish. I will rish it. I will rash it. I will lick it all. And I told you so. I told you so. I want you to know no one has actually come in to chat and say, yeah, you did tell us. If it did, maybe I should have scrolled up for it, but I don't see it there, which means I'm probably lying, guys. I'm probably lying. You shouldn't listen to me. I want you to listen to your heart. Listen to your inner voice. My inner voice tells me to play with myself. Then maybe you need to get a new inner voice. Maybe get a hobby. Or play with yourself properly. That's it. Take it back. Go play with yourself, but like really play with yourself. And then like give yourself permission and then listen to your inner voice. Then ask the inner voice what it says. Okay. It's probably going to be something like, I want a cigarette. And you're just like, James, do I keep doing this? And I'm like, I think no. I think maybe your inner voice is leading you astray. That's what Epstein did. See, when all the media outlets drop a story like, Julian Assange is innocent. Julian Assange has never told a lie. Nothing Julian Assange has ever said has ever been a lie at all, period. And we're the bad media cabal. But for some reason, all the other lies that we tell you every day, for some reason today, on this very special day, we're going to tell you that Julian Assange is actually telling the truth, and he's being punished, and he's innocent. Oh, but we're the evil cabal, and he has the secret recipe that when he exposes, all the other cabals will be destroyed, but he's innocent, and he's nice. And look, here's a picture of him with a kitten, and Pamela Anderson like gives him handjobs from outside the embassy gate because the guards are like, wait, you could do that? And Pamela's like, I can do that. And Julian is like, you can do that. And the kitten's like, yeah, you can do that. And everyone's like, this is amazing. The most evil cabal in the world, their home city, their home court, literally London, England, the most evil financial place in the world. And for some reason, they cannot stop the passing of kittens and handjobs and USB devices in between this sacred gate. Why? Because the cabal is so evil that they respect the sovereignty of diplomatic relations. Oh, that's how evil they are. They're so evil that they respect the boundaries of property and the boundaries of a lease agreement. Even the pet deposit checks out, people. And they were going to get him on the pet deposit. They were like, you do not have a pet deposit on that cat. And Julian Assange, and he whipped it out. Bolivia said, we will give you a pet deposit. And no one has any control over Bolivia. No one can control that. That's such a huge, vital power. Do you know why? Because people eat each other there, and we will never talk about it. This is what's happening. All of this. Over the weekend, during July 4th, the Marines invaded their own fucking country on Independence Day. Does anyone hear how fucking retarded this is? Can I get a retard, man? Can I get an A retard? Because holy fuck, we've been training all of these people. I am one of them. Was trained to defend the Constitution. And in the Constitution, it says, hey, just a bylaw. You can't actually deploy your own military onto your own soil. And America's like, we would never do that. And the voters are like, we'd never do that. And everyone did it. We didn't just do it. We did it on Independence Day. We did it on July 4th. That's when we're like, hey, let's fucking do something retarded. And everyone's like, no, wait. Let's wait 3 days. It's only July 1st. We can make this even more retarded. And every single active duty military person in America said, yeah, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. I've looked this up. I've asked all the research robots I can. Can you find me at least one instance of someone in a military uniform saying, hey, this is stupid. This is wrong. I'm not invading my own country. And no one spoke up. And you know what? During COVID, I said, show me the nurses that are saying this retarded. And I went online, and you know what I saw when I looked up, show me the nurses who think that all this COVID stuff is retarded? I saw dancing nurses. They were dancing. They were dancing. They were tiny dancers dancing for me and for you. And we employ them. We give them uniforms. We make them feel clean. So clean, we call them scrubs. That's how clean we think they are. We give them the magic of invisibility, camouflage, so that nothing that they do can ever stick to what they do, which means they are allowed to work as a dark agent, a dark cabal, and it's the largest employer in the United States. The largest employer is the military, and we invaded our own country on July 4th. On July 4th. Rayman, thank you, I am D. Rush. Very good. Do you hear what's happening? Do you see what's going on? Because Pam Bondi told you, oh, we got the fucking Epstein. We got the list, man. The list is so long, we can't release it now because it's a list, man, and we have to go through it. And it's a long list. And you're picturing, okay, but it's like, I mean, okay, honestly, I've never made a list to go to the grocery store, but a lot of normal people do. So can we just pretend like I'm one of those for a sec? Because it's like, I make a list and it's like, it doesn't take me fucking months. It's literally just like, oh, okay, here's Bill Gates. Here's Stephen Hawking. Here's George Clooney. Get a blowjob. Here's Michelle Obama. Here's Barack Obama. Here's all the other names. So it'd just be there. And if you were the FBI, if you were a Oingo Boingo, who is now our FBI director, or Patel is our FBI director, but if you were one of those guys who swore, just get me in the White House, and I will release the list the second before I even put my coat down, I will release this list, because if I don't release it, we don't have integrity, and if we don't have integrity, we don't have government. And then he's like, hey, look, we need some time, because, there's victims. There's a lot of victims here. And so we can't release anything. And I didn't stand there then and told you I told you so, because I already fucking left. I already said this is not a place where anyone who has any respect for themselves would stay. Why? Because that's all they fucking do is lie to you. And the biggest clue that this is a giant pile of blah, 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 is when it feels good, is when the news feels good, is when you are being told a story that a billionaire in a yellow submarine who attracts the worst kinds of people in all the world because they cannot get laid because they lack the skill to find a vagina, which you literally can open a door and throw a rock and probably hit a vagina somewhere. But for some reason, a billionaire can't because they're too all powerful, and that these people have George Clooney come over, and they have Mossad come over, and every single dark agent who runs the government can be hit from this list. And I watch social media just jizz all over this bullshit. And this is why I don't do so well, because the whole time I'm like, it's bullshit. And people are like, yeah, but the beat is so good, James. And you know what? They're right. Oh, fuck. They're right. It's the truth. I can't compete with that. This is why I tell you, you don't start a government on truth. You need to capitalize the propaganda of what the people want. It's the only way. You have to find a way to tap into the propaganda of that thing and just give it more. You have to lead it. You have to give it more. You have to give it more juice. You can't give it less. You can't give them truth. This is why there are 83 people watching. And frankly, I'm glad you guys are watching. But can you not see how insane the world is? Where someone like me couldn't at least garner a couple hundred people looking at this? That there's that many people that are so unsatisfied with the fucking notion that maybe we're being lied to even when it feels good. that does not have a hook in this world, that there's no pop star bingo caravan that's running around focusing on self-responsibility, focusing on the word, not revolution, but divestment. Do you understand the power of the difference of this fucking word? Of divesting your attention versus revolting against the attention that is already there. Do you understand how fucking powerful the word divest is? Because collectively, this word has never been taught on the street. It's never been spread through an algorithm, and the people themselves will never invest in actual, real life gunpowder that actually gets shit done. I'm talking about the ability to change the system from inside it. And this requires divestment. To pull your witness away is very different than hating the system that you oppose, because you are sucking on the teats that make it want you to hate it more, because you are hating it and it makes it bigger. It makes it strong like bull. It gives it all the juice it needs to move through this thing. This is the real writing on the wall. And no, I don't have exclusive access to it. And I know for a fact that there are so many people that have more access to this than they are willing to admit. And these people are never going to make it on social media, not because of the cabal, not because of some evil Luciferian force, although fuck man, way to go Luciferians, but because of our own appetite of what it is we actually want. This, I'm trying to pull something up just so you know, but this ultimately is the part of the cabal that is the biggest issue. It's literally the biggest problem that we face right now. It's our collective appetite. We have to claim responsibility for it. And who wants to do that? And then once we do, we have to keep pollinating it every day, every little bit. But not too much. You can't lose all your calories because you're revolting against the system. You simply have to move your attention into something more powerful, more positive, more meaningful, more everlasting. That the second you can do that, the second that you can move that kind of stuff, then you're cooking with gas. We ultimately have control over this, but we do not actually respect our own egregore. Do you understand what I mean? We don't respect the power of us having our own egregore, so to speak. Let me see. Oh, thank you, D. Change begins within. It's the only, yes, D. And it's the only change, isn't it? It's really the only change. Us satisfying an appetite that it's some bad guy and that bad guy is a billionaire who can't get laid, and that luckily there's this one guy and this one guy has access to fix it all, but oh, whoops, he suddenly hung himself in a prison. Guys, if you did the math, it's actually pretty, I don't even think you're going to believe that if I told you that. I don't think it's going to happen. This is why I talk about what I talk about. It requires a certain amount of calories to even accept, like, the truth of what's truly required around here. Let me make sure we get the sound on this. This may not work because of the thing. I appreciate you watching, James True. Hope you guys are having a great day. I am. And happy Independence Day, by the way. I think that that things are perfect and whacked at the same time. In case you're not aware of that, it's an important part to be in. Okay, let me see if I play this. Where do I get the audio there? Yeah, I was having some issues with my, yeah, there it is. Okay, this should be it. I think you're going to be able to hear this. Let me see. It takes me forever to cue this up. So I can't do it all like smooth and stuff, But ultimately, our appetite is what's responsible for all these things. And ultimately, that's really the only thing we control. We can pollinate each other's appetite, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It ain't the men in black with the needle in the vein. It's the crowd in the stands cheering on the pain. MK Ultra, nah, not some spook with a badge. It's the mirror in your hand when you scroll and rehash. We the hive mind, swarming for a headline, flashing lights blind while we orchestrate the timeline. You can blame language, but the running is us. Every click given to a whisper we trust. It's not a shadow cabal in a Cold War room. It's the TikTok swarm digging digital tunes. We choose a chosen, then we chew them and discard. All eyes on the pop star till they fall too hard. We the programmers now, mind meld on tap. Algorithms fed from a thirst for the trap. Call it conspiracy, nah, it's just fashion. Trauma turned trendy, monetized passion. So who's really running the MK show? Not the suits, but the likes and the viral flow. Not them, it's us, we're the crowd that controls. Plug into the feed while they pay with their soul. Tiny dancer, you can be my tiny dancer. Tiny dancer, you can be my tiny dancer. Tiny dancer, you can be my tiny dancer.
That's right. I think this is part of what's stopping us from really claiming our true power, is understanding how powerful we are in changing the collective appetite itself. That you can actually walk into a room and just say, you know what, I don't like that word anymore. I don't like this attitude anymore. And you're going to be faced with a crowd that's stronger than you, frankly, that almost all the time is going to be able to outpower you. And the point of this is not to win. The point of this is to simply pollinate. The point of this is just to simply spread your own cosmology into the room. Take the liquid of cosmology that's inside your head. It's in your frontal lobe. You're a teapot. And you pour this into the stream. You do it anyway. I'm not telling you something you don't already do, but so many of us are shy because we think that we can only win. It's true that socially, the people that tend to change the mode of the room or the field of the room will only do so if they feel assured that they can win. And this comes through a gang mentality that, quite frankly, is just a built-in to the fabric of objectivity. This fascism that I speak about, where all of us have to at least agree. And therefore, for us to agree, we're going to have to employ ridicule, we're going to have to employ doubt, and we're going to have to employ deception in order to make sure that everyone agrees. So the baseline is agreement. It's never truth. The baseline is agreement. After the baseline of agreement comes comfort. That's the next step. And quite frankly, most of the people in the truth movement are struggling with that. It's not comfortable. And when you do not have that kind of comfort in the garden, when you fear the jungle itself, you will emanate your own paranoia into the stream and drink from that very liquid and insist that this is coming from someone else because you can't own it yet. It's just a simple idea of lacking the ability of owning your own energy, your own power. I can relate. Every human in this place can relate. Every human in this place is actively working to find more power, but find some golden ticket to admonish or to avoid admonishment from its responsibility. So we want power, but we don't want the responsibility. It's so hard for people to understand when I say that most people don't want power because they're confused by this. They're like, James, that's completely backwards. And honestly, you're living in a society where most of us are completely backwards. And part of the reason why it's so hard to see that is because we are allowed to paint the story to justify all of our behavior all the time. We do that with pop stars. We say, well, it's not us, it's Hollywood. No, it's definitely us. Hollywood is a conduit, but they're listening to what you pollinate with. Well, I can't change the world. Actually, yes, you fucking can. Your world is you. You can change that. Your entire world's you. You know how I can prove it? Because before you were fucking born, none of us were here. You weren't here. Nothing was here. You had no verification of that. The moment you die, I disappear. I'm gone. Everything else around you is fucking gone. So don't sit there and tell me that you're not the world. And more importantly, don't sit there and tell me that you cannot change the world, because you actually can. There's a guy that I don't talk to anymore because I just got tired of him saying gay all the time. I don't even have a dog in the fight, but it's just like, you know what? And fine, if you want to think I have the dog in the fight, that's how much I don't really care. But it's like, I started to realize, how am I even supposed to hang with this guy? Like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to hang with him, because I just don't know why that always has to be a go-to for, this is what it means. If you think something's stupid, then say it's stupid. If you think something's retarded, just say it's retarded. But if you're going to stick this subjectivity word in there, where it's like, this is supposed to mean stupid, then really you're just calling nature stupid. And I don't know if nature's stupid. I think it's us that's stupid. Do you understand? That's all. I just think it's us. And I think it's an innocent, kind of beautiful stupid, but it's stupid. That's all. It's no different than when you're watching your kid, like, try and solve calculus. You're laughing your ass off. Kid's 7. He has no fucking idea what he's doing. It's the same thing. So it's not like that we have to, like, hide it. You know, this is the problem with ignorance. We treat it like cooties, right? We cannot look at ignorance as like this special nugget we found, where I went into this field where no one had ever found this 4-leaf clover called ignorance before, and I found it because I found one thing where no one actually knew this shit, and they just thought they did. So you've discovered a new element. You've discovered a secret hidden door that no one else has found. And we treat those secret hidden doors like they're bad. Like it's cooties. Like it's evil. So you end up with a system that has to do things like this. What did it do? Steve Bannon has been capitalizing on this psychic phenomenon for a long time. A long time. Guy had his start in the film industry, doing documentaries on Hillary Clinton. Had firsthand apprenticeship training under the Clintons on political motivation, intrigue, the art of war, the art of politics. Started to realize that he could change the paradigm of the world using politics and drama at the same time, incorporating Hollywood and drama at the same time, incorporating Hollywood and politics at the same time. How do you do this? Salaciousness. How do you achieve salaciousness? Well, you start with something called Breitbart. You just open a hut. You got Andrew Breitbart, already godchild, basically, not the actual godchild, but of Netanyahu. These two work together closely on forming this media alliance. But this is not the secret smoking gun. The smoking gun is people like Liz Crokin who read this shit, who lick from the teat and spread it, and go out and insist to everyone all the time that all these people are evil, except for Michael Jackson, because I happen to like his music. And then we have this magical list of everyone's evil unless you like them. And what do you know? Epstein checks all those boxes. That the media that lies to you every fucking day is going to come out and tell you that they have a secret client list. And the same media is going to come out there and finally tell you they don't. And you know why they're going to tell you? The news told you that the reason why the FBI is over this is because it's long. It's old news, man. They literally said that. This is 7 years ago, they said. It's old news. There is no client list. You guys, if you know how people work, it would be the same thing as saying we opened up Alligator Alley. Yes, America, we opened up Alligator Alley on the same weekend that we invaded our fucking country, on the same weekend that we told you, oh, by the way, there's no client list, and that you've just set up all the barricades, all the blockades you have to basically sequester all the squirters out there that have their conspiracy juices flowing because they were first given something that they are afraid to doubt, which is the hook that Epstein is this whole thing. Epstein's a fucking deviant living in the worst county in the world, Broward County, some of the most shittiest things that have ever happened, from Zika to killing billions of honeybees to false flag shootings to Debbie Wasserman Schultz to Sheriff Scott fucking Israel to one of the largest exposés of chemical spray plans that spray planes owned by the governor himself, and no one gave a shit about this. A dead CDC doctor who was wondering why the population numbers added up, mixed with this entire storyline where the flu just disappeared for 1 year, and none of these people have suffered from this, and they haven't suffered from this because they did their job. Their job is to sequester attention, and when they sequester attention, they now have political power, and this is what Breitbart does. And Breitbart said there's this thing called Pizzagate. And in that word, they elected the president. They elected the president on that word. It produced a clear beeline straight to the White House, and all you had to do was follow me. And that's who Bannon was. He led as CEO of campaign into this place, and he took Epstein with him. He's building these motivations all the time. I've told you, Bannon, no one disagrees with this. Bannon is the only person that has a video deposition of Epstein that no one else has seen. Bannon actually ran the deposition. He calls it his insurance policy. Do you think that's because the billionaires are on the list? Or do you think that that guy is so good at bullshitting that he puts his own ownership ring, his token that I own this thing, by recording this deposition with Epstein? Isn't it interesting that 8 weeks after Bannon was fired from the White House, QAnon starts up? That just 8 weeks later, Hillary Clinton will be arrested tomorrow. The same salacious message, the same dipped in honey, this deep fried marshmallow meatball combination thing, somehow dipped in honey that was covered in sprinkles, that had every single thing that the people would want to believe is distributed for you 8 weeks after he leaves the White House. And you watch a global phenomenon as people fall into this, me one of them, into this black hole of there's a deep state, and we will find that special deep state, and we will surgically remove that because the rest of government is perfect. Even though it's broken, it's just broken temporarily, and it's only broken because we just have to fix this one little thing. And if we fix this one little thing, it would never break again because it's perfect, because thank you for your fucking service. And the country's largest employer is the military. The seagull says, I think it has something to do with those fries over there. That's what the seagull says. He says, I think it has something to do with those fries over there. Right? I firmly appreciate the power of fantasy in this. I don't want to change this. I do not think that if we were to revolt and install a government that only produced truth, I think that government would lose. I think that government would be destroyed on day one. Being destroyed with a tweaking pop star or a song or a scandal, and none of it had to be true. You know why it doesn't have to be true? It's not because of the cabal. It's because of you. I mean, proverbially you. I include myself in this. It's because of you. It's because of you lowered propensity for proof and higher propensity for limbic juice. For give me the good stuff. Or give me something that I can swipe that's going to feel good. And this whole story of Epstein has that just written all over it. And the truth movement's still on that. Most of the people are, and the country knows how that works. There's a guy right now who's preaching stitching stuff. He won't even claim it's stitching unless you're like behind closed doors. Constantly regurgitating what Stitchin says, and he never once admits or says out loud that Zacharias Stitchin actually went after and called all of the Egyptologists that have ever done any work at all to preserve or document or take care of or protect any kind of Egyptian tomb at all. He called them all fucking liars. Why did he call them liars? Because they weren't backing his propaganda. This same cult is still here today. The same desire to listen to some of the most disgusting bullshit that you've ever fucking heard. Not even disgusting, just salacious bullshit that you've ever heard on favor of anything authentic and true will always be the state that we're in until we're ready to pick up our own power. Because the second we understand how powerful we are at pollinating is the second we become responsible for that. That we truly are supporting and listening to psychopathic sexual predators because that's the only way that we can convince ourselves enough to let go of our power. We need to find the nearest snakes in hair, the Tadaho of the ancient Iroquois. We need to find our local snakes in hair and give him all of our witness and all of our attention because we are fucking cowards when it comes to expressing and creating our own paradigm. I'm out here working as hard as I can. My patrons are working as hard as they can too. I think all of us are. I think some of us just are not willing to admit just how powerful we are. And until we do, we're going to be falling for a lot more tricks. A lot more tricks. One of those tricks was the Battle of the Kegs. I released a music video about this yesterday, but on Dojo Earth, we discussed this a lot yesterday about how we Americans have this story that somehow we saved the day by launching gunpowder full barrels down the Delaware River. I've said the Potomac falsely, by the way, but down the Delaware River, and that we've blown those up in order to ridicule the British. And this is the most retarded story you've ever heard. A ragtag band of rebels desperate for gunpowder would never fucking do this. That you're looking for the spark gap that it takes to just ignite a people just to follow whatever fucking pop star's going to happen. What do you think gunpowder in a barrel is? It's a pop star. It's the first pop star. It's a floating pop star that's sent down the river, and it's shot from guns on both sides because both sides are trying to awaken the other side and get them to fight. Why? Because war makes the mind grow. It makes consciousness burst. This is why the Quetzalcoatl, this is why Mixcoatl, the ancient red and white striped living rust belt of America, this giant creature of mountains, of spine, literally raises children out of his rib cage. The ribs, this is the true story. The ribs in his cage are the red rust belt of America, and he pulls these children out from his heart, and he blends them into warriors, gives them the sacred breath of the hummingbird, places them on the earth, and says the only way that we will grow, the only way the people will grow the conscious mind necessary to get to the next sun is to go kill someone. And these were docile people that did not have this kind of capacitance for violence in the same hypothetical way. They definitely had violence, but to hypothetize about violence in the future is a necessary bridge for the mind to become just psychopathic enough to disassociate. You see, we're constantly using our own psychopathy to learn how to build a sapient awareness of our awareness. This is why you're Homo sapien sapien. Did you call me homo? Yes, I did. But the sapien sapien is the 2 steps of psychopathic disassociation, and each of those gives you another bubble, another wormhole, another cosmology to paint in, because it's not your world, it's now my world, it's now I world. These 2 different worlds are showing you different focal lengths of your identity. The I, the you, and the me is probably the id, the ego, and the superego. The id, the brainstem. The ego in this case would actually be the hindbrain, which sounds confusing. And then the superego would be the frontal lobe. That you have this first person, second person, third person, not because the world taught you that, but because you had 3 different conceptualizations of identity inside of you, and that these conceptualizations are broadcast in a literary landscape through I, you, and me. We, you, and they. 6 dimensions, right? Singular and plural. You could say singular is masculine. You could say plural is feminine. So you have a triune brain, a triune bisexual assemblage. 6 different ways of looking at the same thing, of navigating a similar narration. You follow me? Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Appreciate you being here. Hope you liked what I had to say. I hope that I covered everything, which is that, guys, of course they're going to use 4th of July to invade their own country, because who the fuck would think that anyone would do that? The answer is we would. We would let it happen. And I'll tell you something. I want to be a Mexican now. I don't want to be an American anymore. And I want to be a Mexican because I want the country to try and embrace something a little bit more closer to more natural, more third world, more power centered. Because, guys, it's not working. You and I can be Mexicans again, riding our llamas of light, waving at the world. I want you to divest in this corporation called the federal government, and simply find that the next thing right underneath it is this Nahuatl land. Nahuatl is sort of like the Aztec culture, but like larger, right? So like the Aztecs, like maybe 3% of Nahuatl. And that this is who we are. We need to touch our roots more, reach down more into the grass, and really rethink why we're giving so much power to our government. And not, I don't want you to revolt. I want you to divest. I want you to look at the only weapon you really have is your witness and your attention. If you want to help out, you could join Patreon. We're running a little bit shy on some fundage because I was writing a book and I wasn't putting out a lot of stuff, but I'm back now. Hope you guys check out the new book, Black Eye Club. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Check out my videos. We'll see you next time on Dentistry Live. Have a good day, everybody.